switch camera.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. I'd like to introduce my great friend, Fiona, who is a light language and light code medium. And I'm just fascinated by this. And all the while I'm talking and speaking to her, she's already writing down codes, and I just want to ask her a few questions so that we can get a better, a clearer and a bigger understanding of this light language and the codes. So
Over to me.
over to you. So, okay, Fiona. So, can I ask you, when you first realised that you had this gift?
I don't even know why they're making me do this at the same time. I think it's actually to show that I'm not looking.
Okay.
So yeah, because I'm not looking.
No.
I don't question.
Yeah, well done.
I don't question either. So when I found out you were going to interview me, my first response was,
Run.
hi.
Oh.
Yeah, I came into, I kind of suppose had my awakening, if that's the right word, at 22, 23. And I came out of nowhere, absolutely out of nowhere, from nothing. I had a very, very strict religious upbringing, and I didn't know anything about what you would class as woo-woo.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. And my life circumstances had kind of come to a crisis point, and I was back at home just for a couple of weeks, and I walked into my bedroom, and there was a double bed, and as I walked through the door there was an orb the size of probably the double bed, suspended off the double bed,
Oh.
so about that high off. And my brain didn't know it shouldn't have been there. And it was really calm, and it was there for about 10 minutes.
Oh.
And then it kind of went up, and it got smaller and smaller and smaller, and then went into a diagonal corner of the room and up and out.
Oh, gosh.
And the next day I went to the library, and it was like a 2.7 mile walk with a pushchair downhill and back uphill. And I didn't even know why I'd gone there. And then there was a book on the shelf, and it was called True Stories of Reincarnation by Sue Carpenter. And I came home, and I'm not a reader, and I read it in 2 days, and I remember feeling quite cross that I didn't know that you'd been here before. And I just thought, oh well, whatever's happening to me, I've chosen, and I'm going to be okay. And then a few days later, my life changed, my accommodation changed, and I kind of want to acknowledge that experience. And so I went to what you class as a woo-woo shop, and I didn't know what I was going in for, and somebody spoke to me, and I think I was looking at a necklace, and they just said, where do you live? And they said, no, not like that, but where do you live? And I told them, he said, you live right behind Spiritualist Church.
Oh.
And it was a new address that I was gone to. So he said, you should go to the Spiritualist Church. So I went along, and I took my son. I was a single mum, the 2-year-old, and we were sitting in the back, and I was holding a watch in my hand that had used to belong to my grandma. But nobody could see me.
Oh.
No one could see me. And I didn't even know what a medium was.
No.
Didn't know anything, didn't know about clairvoyant, didn't know anything about mediumship, didn't know anything about anything, didn't even know what Spiritualist Church was. It was different to Methodist, Catholic and Anglican, which Methodist, Baptist and Anglican that I'd been in as a youngster, but I didn't know anything about this. And then this medium just said, oh, there's somebody here that's holding something in her hand belonging to their maternal grandmother. And I didn't put my hand up.
No.
And I was just like, okay. And then at the end of the church, the person who was, I think you call it chairing, is
Yes.
that right? Chairing.
Yes.
She came over to me and she introduced herself, Pamela, and again asked me where I lived and said, oh, you live around the corner from me.
Oh.
And she said, you should come and see me. And I was like, not thinking in my head that I would. And then I found myself walking there a couple of days later at lunchtime, and I was at uni, and a knocked on the door, and she opened the door and she said, come in, I'm just a bit busy at the moment, but come and sit with my friend Melinda. And so I did, and then there was this like larger than life lady, and I'll never ever forget in my life, she was sitting there eating this sandwich with one hand, and she was talking to me about being at uni herself. She's in her 60s and she's doing theology.
Oh.
But she was writing in her other hand, and she was like eating, talking, and going like this. And I said to her, I said, oh, do you need some help? Because you're writing. And she just like looked at me and she went, oh no, I'm just spirit writing. And I was just like, and Pam was on the floor doing tarot with this other lady, and I literally at the same time she just went, oh, so what did you get, Linda? And she was just like talking to me, sandwich, and then she just went, oh, blah, 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 blah. And she hadn't looked at it, she hadn't written, she was talking, eating, hands full, fully talking at me, and I was just like, wow.
Gosh.
And that was my introduction to this world. And then Pam had said something to me like, oh, you've got rainbows coming out your hands, and and this, that and the other. And they basically took me under their wings for about 6 months, and I followed them around. So they both did circuit. They both for the spiritualist churches.
Yeah.
And then I did circle for a few sessions. And at the time I could, I probably was better than I am now in that respect, because I could see, so if they were channeling somebody, I could see the person that they were channeling in front of them.
Right, could
and
you?
And I could see either as 3D, or I could see it as like a silhouette, as an impression, or I could see like shadows on the walls. But I started to get automatic writing.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes, and it was a bit oldie English. Like he who forsaketh not, that type of thing.
Yes.
And I was getting that a lot. But every time people say, oh, you've got a message for me, I'd be like, no. And they were like, yes, you have, but you've got a block. And I didn't know, and I still don't, to be honest. I didn't know how to get through a block, but I could write.
Yes.
But I'm not that I told them. I didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
And I did it for not very long, and I also could like close my eyes at night, and then but my eyes would be wide open. So even if you'd got 100 scarves over me, I would have told you everything that was in the room.
Oh,
but
I understand that. Yes.
I don't understand why, because I never saw anything different. But I did used to have kind of spirits come in, and they used to be like that on my face, and you could actually see my hair twizzle. Oh. Because I'd have one kind of like go like that, and I'd have a lot of activity around me and lights going on and off. They were trying to get my attention, but I don't think I was doing what I was meant to be doing.
Okay.
And then I met father of my children, and then I completely non-woo for the next 25, 26 years. Not in it at all.
Oh, really?
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then I joined a development circle about 15 months ago. But I tried to do little bits before then, but then I kept being stopped by life.
Yes, I understand that.
But then I was always the one in the circle who couldn't get anything, or I used to say I couldn't get anything, but I didn't feel I could get anything.
Okay.
So I've always been perceptive.
Yeah.
But that's about it, and can sense how people are feeling, but not really kind of get anything. And then I think it was last October, I was at the computer, and I don't know what even made me do it, but I was thinking about me used to be able to write, and I thought, I wonder if I still can.
Yes.
I wonder if I still can do it. So I started doing a bit on the computer, just to like blank page, and then see what happened, and then I started to get stuff.
Yeah.
But you question, is this me? Am I going nuts?
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
Is this what people call your higher self? Am I channeling?
Does it matter?
Does it matter? And yeah, so that kind of started in the October, and then I started to kind of feel that I'd always got like twitches and things in my hands, but
Yeah.
I started to feel that and I could always sense when somebody was coming in, and because I
Yeah.
could feel my breathing getting bigger, and I could feel somebody around, and people would say,
Yes.
"Oh, that's your guide," or
Yeah.
what have you, especially if I was doing healing or something.
Yes.
But I started to kind of, I don't know, my mouth was moving quite a bit, oddly. And my breathing would change, but it kind of developed a bit more. And then I kept getting these messages that I should look at light language
Oh.
and follow light language. And so if I was going to circle, and
Had you heard?
never
of
in my
light?
life, never, don't know anything about it. And I do need to clarify, I don't look it up either.
No.
And so, but I kept getting these messages at Circle, like
Yeah.
you need to follow light language or what have you.
Oh my gosh.
And so, after one particular circle, I'd gone for a healing, and again it was like, no, you've got to, I keep seeing a tongue wiggle going back and forth.
Oh.
I know what that is, that's light language, you need
Yeah.
to go and follow it up. So
Oh.
I went home, went on Facebook, typed in, no, I don't even know why I typed in Facebook, because I don't do Facebook
No.
or anything, but I didn't put it in Google, but for some reason I turned on Facebook, put in light language, and then a picture came up, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm definitely going with you. And then I had a couple of sessions, and then, but I was carrying on doing my, I don't know, I was still trying to do it on the computer,
Yes.
the writing.
Okay, yeah.
But then I started to kind of get the idea, because I don't know how to meditate, I'm not very good at any of those kind of practices.
Okay, okay.
And I was just thinking, I'm just going to sit really quietly and see what happens and what comes.
Yes.
And then I started to realise that my mouth was doing strange things, and I was making funny clicking noises. And then they were trying to make me whistle, and I'm like, I can't whistle. Like, okay, you're trying to make me whistle. And then you get a bit self-conscious, don't you? And you kind of think, I'm not really sure about this. And then I thought, well, if I did it if I was doing it on computer, could I do it if I was writing?
Yeah.
So I went into, so I tried to practice on my hands, and then I've noticed that my handwriting changed, and I was like, and then I was getting these messages through, and I was like, okay, this is what I was doing when I was 22, 23.
Yes.
And it was exactly
Yes.
the same. It's like you were
Yes.
saying about your trance mediumship, that it's
Exactly.
exactly as it was 30 years
Yes.
before, and it was like that. It was
Yes.
exactly that. And then my friend Nikki had said to me, oh, come on a spirit art workshop. And I can draw a stick man. I can draw a stick man. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to say yes to any opportunity, kind of like, let's just do it. So I went, but for the first time in my life, I went with no expectation and no self-deprecating, because I wasn't like going, oh my goodness, I'm going to be terrible, blah, 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 blah. I just thought, I'm here, whatever happens. And it was meant to be that you channel spirit portraits.
Yes.
So that's what the day was for, to learn how to do spirit portraits.
Wow.
But the exercise at the beginning, just a really tiny warm-up, was tune in, connect to a guide, draw a guide.
Oh.
And she'd only given us, I don't know, 30 seconds a minute to tune in, like nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, well, I'm not going to be able to draw anything, but that's absolutely fine. And I really, for the first time ever, I probably didn't try. So every time before, like when I've been at Circle or something, you like this, you're like, come on, what can I get? But you're trying. But when you're trying, you block.
You can block that.
Well, you totally block. You can't do both at the same time. You can't try and receive at the same time, because it's two different states.
Yes, you're right.
And I was in the state of completely allowing for the first time ever. First time ever. And I don't normally hear stuff clearly. I know stuff, so I'm what you call clairsentient rather than...
You're clair-knowing. Mavis Patilla said to me at one point, you're clair-knowing. And I'd never heard of clair-knowing, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
But I heard really clearly. I was like, oh, go on then, give me a guide. I'm not going to draw. And I heard, I'm half man, half bird, but I don't wear the mask. I'm the deity itself.
Oh.
And I just, so I literally we got given we got 3 pieces of paper in front of us, and I just like went, like literally that, and then an eye. So that was an outline, because I was like, that's for a bird, because I don't know how to draw. Stick man bird. And then my hand went like this, and it did it in spirals, and it coloured it in spirals.
Yeah.
And then it was really precise on the colours.
Wow.
So like blues, purples, mustards, and then
My
greens.
goodness me.
And I actually had to go back and put an extra colour, and I didn't understand, but it finished, and I got this thing in, and then my hand wouldn't stop, but I finished my picture. So I turned the page over, and then I kind of did some lines, and then on the next 3 pages, and then it still wouldn't stop, so I picked up another colour and a third colour. And then she said to finish, and then I quickly looked back and I realised that it was giving me the beak that I'd got on there, which I'd just done like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't long enough, and I made it go down like this.
Oh.
Colour it down.
Yes.
And then my friend Nikki, when we'd finished, and she looked
Wow.
at it and she went, oh, that's the Egyptian god Thoth.
Ah, yes.
And I-
Yes.
I'd never heard of him.
Oh, hadn't you? No.
And she said he's the god of writing,
Oh.
wisdom, and the moon.
Yes.
And
Wonderful.
I never went to do the spirit art, and I wasn't very good at that. But I was, but I looked at this piece of paper in front of me, and they were like, buy some pastels. So I was like, all right then. And that was a Saturday,
Can I interrupt you there? How long ago was this?
June the 20th, 21st.
Not long ago.
No.
Carry on.
No.
Sorry.
And then 3 days later, courtesy of a very well-known online retailer,
Yes.
some pastels turned up in the post, and they also told me to get black paper and gold pens.
Wow.
And I think I'd been online as well on YouTube and listened to this American person who was doing light language at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think they'd had something about writing on there, something to do with Sirius or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And because nothing happens by accident, as you know.
No.
Whatever comes through is it. And it just happened to miraculously be
I don't know
black
why.
paper, gold pen, and that you're meant to put a triangle. I think it was like put a triangle in the middle, and then see what happens. So like literally on this Tuesday, I've got these pastels turned up in front of me. So it's the 24th of
Yeah.
June. I'm sat at my desk, black paper got up, and I'm like, okay, so I'm meant to do a gold triangle in the middle. I'll do this gold triangle in the middle. And then I got this picture of Thoth out that I'd drawn the day before on the Saturday, and I was like, oh, go on then. What do you want me to do?
Yes.
And then I
Oh,
started
how
to get
wonderful.
some, like, I don't know, it looked like lines and things.
Yeah.
But within, I won't even say it was a day, because it mostly came through on that night, but then I just had all of this.
Yeah.
It was all there.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And then I tried to do it, but I was guided to when to sit down and do it, and
Yeah.
I'd listen.
Yeah.
And then I'd sit down and I'd do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Even to the point where one occasion I'd come out the shower and I'm there with a towel on and a thing there, and I don't sit just now, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
cold, I'm like, I'm like, all right then, and I sit down, and so I show willingness.
Yeah.
And then
Well, that's right.
and then that was it really. And then I think I got given, and I would do random things like a tree, because I didn't know what to think about, and wasn't really sure. And then I was doing one on a drum for a friend, and then I got given a poem.
Gosh.
So, and that's the first poem, and that's the only poem I've done.
So
I read it
far.
out to you though.
Yes.
Right?
So
Yeah.
far. Yes.
So far,
Yes.
and so they'd give it to me in poetry, and then I
Wonderful.
started to get writing,
Yeah.
some like channeling through writing. But then I'd find myself in this position where I could be out, and then I'd hear myself say, "I've just been told to code for you," thinking, what am I doing? To random people I've never met before.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they were always in a position of, they're already helping people and they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
So they understood it.
yeah, but I don't think it was because they were understood it. I think they were just meant to be active. They were meant to be receiving it because
Yes.
to take them on to the next level or something.
Oh.
Because they're already working in that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I was just
Like you did with me.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I just get told who right, you're doing this
Yeah,
pose, ask,
yeah.
you know, and I always
Yeah.
say, is it okay, would you like? Obviously I'm
Well,
not just going to do it
yes.
to people without permission,
Yes.
but they tell me. And then, so it kind of went on from there, and then obviously met you,
Yeah.
thing, and then but every single thing I've done with it is a giant leap of faith, and this is a massive giant leap of faith
Yes.
because I don't do this.
No.
And anybody who knows me knows I do
You have
this.
now.
I know, but I don't. I'm very invisible.
Yeah.
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 I actually hadn't looked. This is genuine. I hadn't even looked in a mirror for over 25 years at the beginning of this year.
Really? My goodness me. Why was that?
Just ooh, yeah. So mirrors, photographs. So me even physically being in front of you, in front of a camera, being filmed, knowing it's going on YouTube. I'm like,
Well, that is.
on the inside, but
That
this
is
is
a
giant leap
massive
of. It's but I'm going on the giant
leap
leaps
of
of
faith.
faith.
Yes. Well,
It's
that's
all about
good.
the leap of faith. So then I was
Wonderful.
told. Then it was just like I was coding for people.
Yeah.
And then I started to get, and then when I met you, I'd been getting universal codes. So there'd be
Yeah.
somebody specific, or I'd get, so like codes for grief, codes for healing pain, codes for beauty and grace, codes for clarity and wisdom, that type of thing that are generic.
Yeah.
And then but they always made me use expensive paper. They make me use expensive pens, expensive books. And I've
Yes.
actually-
Well, there must be a reason for
Yeah.
that, mustn't there?
yeah, actually, and they told me to put this in my bag.
Yes.
So it's almost like they knew.
Yeah. Yeah. Look.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we show up
yes.
at the end. But so I started getting pictures.
Oh, look.
which you'll
Look
have
at
to
that.
put
Yeah.
on the screen.
Put it on the.
like,
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
because that is
yeah.
brilliant.
So I started
So,
to get. So I
there we
started to
are.
get pictures.
Hope you can see that all right. But that is brilliant.
Yeah. So it's kind of changed a little bit because, but actually that's codes on the next one. So.
Codes on the next one.
Yeah, so all of these are. So then this all kind of started changing for me.
Wow.
So again, there's more pictures.
Yes.
We can take some photos. You can attach the photos at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
Oh, look.
so like
Oh, aren't they lovely? Yeah.
so like these are. Let me just try and find one. So like so they're now coming in like this.
Yeah.
So
Like this. Yeah.
so again, these are just codes that kind of come in the morning, and you can switch over to that one if you want. That one there. That one. That's
This
another.
one.
That's another picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm getting more and more of these now, which are generic.
Brilliant.
But I don't know what they're there for.
No.
No, I don't know what they're there for. So I just have faith.
And I
have
think
faith.
this is what we've got to do because is have faith and trust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then, as the writing came, I then started to get it more verbally,
Yeah. Yes.
and Pat started to get it verbally too.
Ah! As of yesterday. As of yesterday, thinking, hello, who am I? What's happening now?
But it just happens.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
something you
do
plan.
happen, yeah.
And again, because I'm really low, I'm really shy and
Yeah.
low
Self-esteem.
low self-esteem, that type of thing. I never thought I'd even be able to do it in front of people, and so that was again.
But
massive
it's the spirit
faith.
doing it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So
Yeah,
then,
it's-
as I started to code for people,
Yeah.
the channeling then started to come through, and then it was coming
Amazing.
through in English.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of also coming through as light language, and then I was
Wonderful.
having to trust it.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of coming through as hands-on healing as well.
Oh, yes. Well, see, that's what I've always been interested. That was my first love, always, was the healing.
That's why
I never came into
Yeah.
this for any other reason, just the healing. But it,
Because you're a
you
natural,
know,
natural beauty.
well, we are, aren't we?
Everybody's a healer, but that's the whole
That's
thing.
right. We are.
Everybody's a
aren't
channel.
We are.
Everybody is a
Yes.
channel. No, everybody's a channel. Every single person is a channel. And the only difference is if you've chosen to work in this way.
Yes, that's the difference.
That's the only, but that's the difference. But everybody can do it. Everybody can channel, and everybody
Yeah.
can sense,
Yeah.
and so yeah. So I'm now kind of embracing it more, and I'm getting a bit braver about doing light language in front of people, and kind of going through the flow. But the one thing that I have, and I've had to come clean with my kids, obviously.
Yeah.
that was quite hard. Some of them were accepting, others.
Well,
But it was really interesting because one of the ones I thought would be quite closed off, she was like, "Oh, I've been googling it, and it's like and she said, "Oh, there's masses about it on the internet." And I said, "Is there?" And she's like, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, I've seen what you've done, and like the kind of things you're doing, and other people have got the same type of symbols and glyphs and stuff out there."
Yes.
And she was like making it sound like very
Matter of
commonplace.
fact.
Yeah, very commonplace.
Yeah.
And I did have a sneaky peek for about 1 minute on Google, and I typed in light language symbols and glyphs.
Yeah.
And codes, well, symbols, glyphs, codes, and saw similar.
Yeah.
And then I started reading and immediately turned it off. And the reason why I turned it off is because it's like Dr. Google, isn't it? Because you then make things, and I just thought
you're being taught. You use your own intuition, being taught from within already. Yes, and sometimes, too much guidance can be a hindrance.
Well, the only reason I didn't look at it is because when I very first met you and I found myself, so somebody said to me the other day, when you did your talk, and I said, "A talk? I've done a talk." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I suppose, yes, you would have classed it as a talk, but I never set out to do a talk," kind of thing.
It just happened.
No, it just happened. What did I say to you when people say, "What is light language?" And I say, it's the language, it's the universal language of the soul.
Yeah.
And it's not for the higher mind to understand.
No.
But the second you start using words, Pat, higher mind's there.
Yeah.
And there are very, very few words. And in fact, I don't even think there are any words. I'd even go as far as saying that, because some people have reactions to the word love, and people don't feel safe, and they don't feel peace, and they don't feel calm. And people, if you say God, they'll immediately have a barrier.
Yes.
I literally do not think there is a single word in the English language that won't have a block for someone.
Absolutely,
So the minute you start putting words together and you string a sentence, 1, 2, 3 words, sentence, you will lose somebody at some point with a barrier.
Yes.
And so when you said I could interview about light language, I'm like, well, how? Because it can't be about words.
Yeah.
It can't be.
No.
And it's how it makes you feel. And so therefore, if I'd read about it and read words, I would then have more words to talk about. And because you're seeing it in AI, Wikipedia, people's individual websites, and paragraphs and pages about what it is.
Oh my gosh.
You would then think, oh, I need to get all of that information in there and include it. But actually, they keep saying to me, less is more, less is more, less is more, less is more. Keep it super simple. Because it is not about words. So when I gave you your soul codes that first time, I said, do not look at it with your higher mind, with your conscious.
You did say that.
And what that was so lovely when Ez had come up to me afterwards and said, and he didn't know anything about anything, and he just said, is there an alphabet? And I said, well, sometimes it does look like I said, but the answer is no, it's whatever makes you feel. And he said, oh, good, because for me it looks like flute finger positions.
I remember him saying that, yes.
I felt so
I remember him saying it,
because that's what it was for him.
For him,
And it's for you. Each and everything is for you.
So it's how it makes you feel.
So it's how it makes you feel and how it goes in. So, yes, I get given some guidance. So, like I said when I was doing the talk, they're very clear with me that, okay, so if you've got rows and rows and rows of coding, even if you had that, and I did that for you, and then I did identical for, say, me, and even if it looked identical, it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be.
Because
it's the energy of it.
It depends.
Is that right?
Yeah, but it depends on the speed with which I write it.
Oh.
But sometimes I go ding, 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 or sometimes I'm just going from right to left, and I don't ever do left to right, just as plain left to right. It never comes that way. But a lot of the time I could do left to right, and then right to left, and then they'll make me do one symbol or maybe two symbols down there,
Yeah.
and then I'll have to go back to it and join it up there. That changes the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
But you wouldn't know that if you looked at it
No,
different.
no.
You wouldn't-
Yeah.
But it's the speed it goes at,
Oh,
the
God,
colour of
yeah.
pen, the height,
Yeah.
the dots, because
Yeah.
in some of them there's like a little dot after,
Yes,
or
that's right.
some dots,
There is.
and the directionality, all sorts. Every single thing is extremely precise. There are no mistakes. And so, and again, so somebody, it was when I handed them all out to you, I was kind of like, don't be disappointed or compare yours to someone else's.
Yeah.
And actually one person's took twice the amount of time for the same amount than someone and another one's,
Yeah.
because it was meant to go in slower.
Yeah.
But because all I know
Wow.
is it comes,
Yeah.
it's there, and
Yes,
it goes in at
yes.
the pace the person needs.
Yeah.
And so it'll sit there until it's ready to be activated. And so sometimes when I'm
Gosh.
doing it, you'll see me and I'm not very fast at the beginning, but by the end,
Yeah.
my hand is being turned and like moved.
Yes,
I am
I've
going
seen it. I
so
know.
fast, like that drum one.
I've
It looks
seen
like it looks speeded up, but it really isn't.
No, it's not yet
Yeah.
at all. No.
But sometimes it's quite slow,
Yeah.
and so that's
Is
why.
it? Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
And so everybody's is
Depending how it
completely
comes.
individual.
Yeah.
And then of course I ended up accidentally coding drums, thanks to Rita.
Yes.
Because again they told me, they were like,
Oh,
ask her if she'd
gosh.
like it on the drum.
Yeah.
And then she said yes, and then she beautifully made me 20. But now in each one of those is a leap of faith, because it's so hard not to get your ego involved.
You've done 20 drums.
No, I haven't. She gave me 20.
Oh, I see.
No, I've done 8. I've done 5. I'm doing another 3 at the
If
moment.
anybody
8.
wants a drum with the light coding on it.
Oh golly, I wasn't meant to be a plug. But,
No, but it could be.
but it was a leap of faith, because I get what's meant for them. So I'm not part of it.
Yeah.
And so that's quite hard, especially when they do code on code on code, because it just looks a bit
Yes.
messy. But
Yeah.
it's not. It's everything.
What they
Frequency is what's come through.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of gone to inks on the background, so they're just choosing colour, and then I've bought some
Wow.
stencils. And it's like, am I meant to be using stencils or not? But I can a couple of times. I have been able to a couple of times.
Wow.
And so they're moving, but then like I just did my friends, and and what she was thinking of, it was the complete opposite. And
Strange, isn't it?
and it was, and it's like, nope,
No,
it's got to
not
be this
like
colour,
that,
it's
yeah.
got to be this one, it's got to be that. But then again, they shifted that. It had to be, she had to hear, we were on the phone for the last 40 minutes, and loads of channeling came through that she was meant to hear. And then the next jump that I did, they would not let me finish it. And I was like, she's coming to pick it up. Nope, I wasn't allowed, because I had to do it in front of her, the last bit. But I never question. I always go with everything. And then people say to me, but how do you know it's a good energy? How do you know what you're channeling? And I say, I don't need to know, because all I know is it's so high frequency, it's so pure, it's so loving.
And it just comes through you,
And
doesn't it?
it's just beautiful, and it is uplifting, and so
Wonderful.
So in answer to your question, I can't tell you what it is, except for that it is the language of the soul. It is the most universal language that there is, that ever was, that connects from where we've been, like connects us all.
Wonderful. Well,
And you can compare it to people who speak in tongues.
oh
because
yes,
that's universal, isn't it?
yes.
But it's energy, it's frequency, it's vibration.
Yes.
Which is why we get that through the sun rays, we get that through song, we get that through music. Music makes us feel a different way.
Yes.
Food, if somebody's grown it in the garden and they've made it for you.
Yes.
And you can feel the difference between that and buying, I don't know, having a McDonald's. You'll feel energetically the difference in your body, because one's of a high frequency, the other's a denser vibration.
Yes.
And so it's all about, so that's what it is. But the minute you start giving it names, labels, because that's what we do as humans. We do. We label everything. We categorise everything.
Everything's got to fit in a box.
But the reason we have these boxes, race, sexuality, gender, neurodiverse, neuroatypical, or neurotypical. Every single thing is it's so that we as humans think I know how to respond to that person because they're in all of these categories, and the same with anything. I know what's expected of me. So if you're suddenly loosey goosey about not putting it in a category, it leaves it really open, but other people kind of go, but I don't know where that fits in because there's no box for it. But there's a freedom in that. There's a freedom in surrender, but it's about how makes you feel. And it's nothing that's being done to you because you've got the right to not accept it. You've got the right to block it, or for it not to even come anywhere near.
Like trance, isn't it? You can't. They can't do it without.
And they're not in charge of me. Somebody said to me, if you hadn't dried yourself post a shower, you could have told them to wait. And I'm like, I could have done, but I was quite happy just to sit there. You kind of go, well, this is really funny.
Absolutely.
This is really funny now. All right then. Yes, I thought I'll show willing, but I do set other limits.
Of course,
kind of like I can't now or what have you, but it was just a kind of like a willingness and acceptance. It was just me kind of showing I'm willing to work with you and stuff. But I'm getting more in. But now I completely trust.
Yes,
and I've stopped the doubting.
That is a big thing.
It was massive.
It is a big thing.
It was everything.
It is everything. Because you can't do it without that
if I put a pen in my hand,
like know it's.
It will straight away come through.
Look at it. Gosh, look at it. Look at that. Wow.
But whatever it is, it's always there.
It's always there.
It's always there.
I think it's so exciting. I think it's wonderful.
But what people say, but what do they do? What are they? And it's for clearing trauma, it's clearing blockages. It's for release. So because
you see, that's what's
helped
me to come out and show my true self. You see, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it was the most humbling experience when you sat in front of me, age 75, and said you've finally given me permission to be
who I am.
And I cried because I'm like, who am I? I'm nobody to do that. But it's how it makes you feel. It is because it is like this water. If you filled it to the top and then you're being given good things and you'll fall to there, it's just going to run off.
That's exactly.
But you have to empty some of this out.
Of course you do.
To then be able to accept all the good stuff.
Wow, this is what's
and it does, but it does it at your own pace.
Yeah.
And yes, it might make you tired and it might retreat for a bit, but that's what you needed to. But people get scared. People get scared by the retreat and the pauses. But it's in those pauses that you're kind of aligning to a kind of a higher frequency, and then all of the stuff that's that frequency can come in. The good.
It's 100% right. You're 100% right with that. Because at one point I just wouldn't have spoken about anything in my personal life. It was all locked away. So, it was like it's given me permission to be me, So it's a total, it is freedom. So this is what it does for us.
And it tends to strip away. It tends to strip away a lot, which is really raw.
Layers and layers and layers of stuff that you've built up over the years as being stripped away, and until you get to that core being, It's.
So what is light language? Light language is love.
The language of love.
It is.
It's the language of love.
And the language of the soul.
And when you said the language of the soul, I was also saying inside, and the language of love. Is that it for that?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening to us, and hope you've got, and you must have done, a lot out of that today. Look at her.